If you were to do a quick Google search on climate change, you would come up with articles saying the world's going to end and we don't have much time to stop it before we end up in a situation like this. This is an example of one of the articles you may find saying like the whole world is screwed basically, and that was a real article. But according to Michael Schellenberger in an article on Forbes.com, he said there is no credible scientific body that's ever said that climate change threatens the collapse of civilization. And the media does this in order just to bring more publicity to their outlet. In order to prove to you that climate change isn't as bad as it may seem, or as bad as the media makes it seem at least, I'll use 3 things to prove it. My first one being reporters over-exaggerate in order for publicity. They do that for everything, not just the climate change, but it applies here also. My second point will be explaining that their information, for the most part, is not scientifically credible. It is more based on theory. And my third point will be I'll go over what climatologists, people that are specialized in this topic, what they think and what they have found. I'll first begin with how reporters over-exaggerate for their own benefit. One example of this is the wildfires in California. Many news outlets blame this on climate change and global warming. But as you can see in the graph here, the biggest cause for the wildfires is actually undetermined. The second one being miscellaneous, and the third being just debris burning. None of that has to do with climate change, and that shows that anything and all their proof, or what they thought was proof, was completely false, and doesn't apply to climate change. This happens every day. Media outlets use this for their own benefit in order to gain more publicity, so that more people read their articles in order to, so they can get more ad revenue. And it applies here, they over-exaggerate so more people will read the article because it sounds more interesting. It happens all the time and happens here exactly. And to get into that, this is proof that many news articles don't have any credible sources, which that's the most important thing. If you're going to look at a news article, make sure it's actually credible, rather than just any reporter making reports on it in order for publicity. Most of what you see in the media, such as this, or these other graphs, show that they're not really getting the proof that they need, and the media puts most of their ideas out based on theories between scientists, not necessarily climatologists or professionals in the field. It's more based on what scientists may believe or what they're arguing without them actually finding the scientific proof. And most climatologists don't agree with anything in the articles, in news articles that they see. This goes as far as climatologist Tom Wagner said, it really does bother him seeing what comes up in the media because he does not believe it to be true at all. This falls into my third point being what climatologists believe to be true. As I said before, most climatologists don't believe that we're leaning towards this area where the entire world's going to be underwater. We're going to be somewhere like Mad Max where everything's just a desert and everyone's fighting for their lives. But as you can see here in this graph, sadly, people believe the media, energy industry leaders, and elected officials just as much as they believe climatologists. So that's where the awareness or belief that we're coming into this world comes from. But according to the Meteorological Society, 50 of the 60 top leaders believe that most of what's in the media isn't true. And that's the leading group in the United States. All the specialists or top leaders in the field. And also, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, they all have decided to think together and agree that they don't believe that many of the models on climate change are true at all. They believe they're over-exaggerated, and luckily for us, we won't end up like that. The world's going to, for the most part, be okay. it's not as bad as what the media thinks or is telling us. They only do it for their own benefit and not for what they really want us to believe. This happens every day in media, sadly. In conclusion, as you know, reporters over-exaggerate for their own benefit. You now know that most of the information you find in the media is not true, it is over-exaggerated, and now you know what climatologists believe. With that being said, now we know the real side of the story and where climate change really is.